So, nonviolent communication. What is the deal with that name? This is a topic I like to cover at the beginning of my trainings because I do credit Marshall Rosenberg and NVC with the body of work that I'm teaching in organizations. NVC, though, nonviolent communication, is something that a lot of people are allergic to. I kind of think of it as an inherent marketing issue where people are sort of averse to thinking about themselves as violent, and yeah, it's just a little bit confusing. And so what I think it's important for folks to understand is that NVC, nonviolent communication, when Rosenberg developed this framework, he was inspired by the nonviolent movements of Gandhi and of King and so on, and he really did see this body of work as a social change, peacemaking movement. And he was most interested in some of his most inspiring examples. Maybe you've read some of them in his seminal book. He used it with tribe leaders that had been warring for decades, and and gangs, and all around the world, really, in these like kind of entrenched and deep conflicts, as a way to create resolutions that really, frankly, people were amazed by. People didn't think were possible. So nonviolent communication really includes all of that context, and I think it's helpful to know that. Now, in businesses, I think the AKA that I hear the most is compassionate communication, which for some people works a lot better. The one concern that I have about that is then it can kind of imply that we're talking about how to be nicer at work, and the nicey nice syndrome is sort of one that concerns me because, sure, some people can be kind of bulldozers in their communication style and collaborations with others, but it is, I think it's most often when I'm doing trainings and I check in about this and I do my little informal surveys that, a lot of people describe themselves as doormats. It's hard to speak up. It's hard to step into conflict, even when it would be important for the success of a project or the success of my career, for that matter. And so I really want to make sure that if people are thinking about the body of work as compassionate communication, that sometimes compassion can be a little bit fierce, and it's not just about being harmonious at the sacrifice of realness. So I tend to talk about the work as conscious communication because, to me, that really gets to the core of what we're trying to do here, to be more mindful, to be aware of whether I'm kind of regulated and showing up fully and present in a difficult or a tense or an awkward conversation, or wow, what are my defaults, and can I show up differently? Can I, when I'm reactive, do I notice during or even after that I was a little flooded or a little collapsed, right? So we're talking about, how to start to expand more consciousness, be more aware of the options that you can lean into depending upon what the situation calls for, and so so for me, it's this level of consciousness really is the key. It's not just about like, okay, now this is what's good to do and this is what's bad to do. It's not like just another version of what's right or wrong in communication. It's about choice. It's about options, and having more capacity to make the choices that are going to work based on what a particular like sideways conversation needs to get back on track. So check out more if you're interested at www.consciouscommunication.co, and we'll look for you on the next video. Thanks so much.